Hey there, Lester.
Hi. How's
So,
Alice?
huh?
How's Alice?
I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah,
Awesome. Great to see your smiling face.
you too. So, Lester and I met a couple years ago at a Divine Truth conference, and we've become good friends, I would say.
Yeah, fairly. I like that.
Yeah. And so we have these spiritual conversations every now and again. And I asked Lester if he would come on and chat about reincarnation. I personally believed in reincarnation until I was watching Divine Truth videos in 2021. And I was really kind of shocked and dumbfounded that AJ said there is no such thing as reincarnation. And because everything else I listened to had such deep truth to it, I said, I better listen to what he's saying. But I gotta say, it took me still a long time to digest. And it took probably a year or two to actually change my belief system. And now I feel that there is no such thing as reincarnation and that it actually does more harm than good. What do you think?
Well, I have a lot of thoughts. Can I ask you a question on what you just said before we go further?
Sure.
Have you, uh, do you have any personal experiences that validate your shift in belief or anything you experienced since that seem to um, strengthen or weaken your new belief process?
Well, I felt that the proof that AJ gave, I feel that AJ and Mary are two of the best mediums that I've actually witnessed helping
Mhm.
both earthbound spirits and spirits that are in higher realms. And as you would probably agree, you have to come into a higher level yourself before you make a good medium. Otherwise, you can be really easily influenced by
Mhm.
lower level spirits. Um, so when I watched them channel spirits that were actually performing reincarnation, it became quite clear to me that um, it's not what I thought it was, which we'll talk about. And then I looked at all of the past life regressions and all of the things that I did in a much different way. So, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can connect with that. Being in the presence of someone doing a channeling and hearing what the spirit has to share is very powerful. All right, now back to your question. Can you restate it again?
Well, I'd like to start at the beginning because I think it's really important. And that would be what were your beliefs about reincarnation, maybe prior to hearing divine truth, or did divine truth affect your beliefs at all, like me?
Right. Yeah, so I was born and raised with the belief that incarnation was not a thing, that didn't happen, and that any spirits that we could interact with were either angels on the bright side or demons on the dark side, and that summed up everything. Um, and I believe that the human spirit immediately went to one place or the other and no longer interacted with living humans at all. Like they would be confined to the spaces that they would go to uh, almost immediately upon passing or death. And then in my own spiritual exploration, I came to the place where it seemed like people were remembering something that definitely had to do with an earth life. And so I began for just a few years kind of to lightly hold the reincarnation theory because it seemed to make sense. Uh, so I was never hardcore on it, but I was just looking for what answers the questions at hand. And then after I heard AJ speak on his one of his Divine Truth podcasts or seminars or something, and heard his explanation that these are not angels or demons as I formerly thought about them, disconnected from human life, but that they're actually people that lived before me, and it's their spirits in either a brightened state or still a darkened negative state. And that made a lot of sense to me. However, I was, my personal thing was I'm going to give it a try and I'm going to see, does this hold up? I'm going to put it to the test. So, yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, wow. So before we get into how you put it to the test, you were mentioning that it seemed to make sense. And for me, it seemed to make sense too when you read like Brian Weiss's books on why people had different ailments or different phobias and right, things like that. It seemed to be very easily explained by, well,
Mhm.
because such and such happened to you in a past life.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It answers those puzzling questions to a certain level. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you end up putting it to the test?
Um, so I am somewhat mediumistic. I can see spirits most often in kind of a shadowy form, not a complete distinct full color like you are seeing us here in video or as you would see with your natural eyes, but more of a shade and brightness. I also can very clearly feel the presence of another being, energy being, whatever you want to call it. Um, and I can tell things from them by what I feel from them, what energy they bring, how close they are to me. In fact, a really common one, and I notice we have some listeners here today, but a really common one is when you're being very open and connected, and all of a sudden you feel the shivers go across your body. Maybe the hair in your arms stands up or something like that. And I learned that that's actually a sign that there's other energetic presence very, very near to us. This is also very common when we start talking about these subjects. So we got a couple listeners around us right
Yeah,
now.
I can feel that.
Yeah, yeah, they just popped in here a couple moments ago, and so they're engaging and they're interested in our topic of discussion. So, in putting that to the test, working with a lot of people is where I commonly put things to the test. So someone is being many times disturbed. Usually people aren't complaining when it feels like a really good presence near them, but they seek help more when something is disturbing their peace or it feels like there's a dark or heavy or a negative something around them. Uh, Commonly they'll hear voices that disturb them, bother them. They're not sure what to do with. So those were my opportunities to put this to the test. So if they're actually another human who has died, has passed away, and their spirit is hanging around for some reason, why might that be? And let's interact with them like they were another human. So I began to have a conversation based on what I had heard to see if it's right. And I started talking to them about things they may be experiencing in the state they find themselves, and instant connection, instant connection. The responses I'm getting from them are confirming that yes, it was another person, and yes, they respond very well to speaking to them kindly. listening to them, and yet in a way that doesn't let them dominate me, like be really annoying. Like I still carry a presence and a oh, what might you call it? My own lead in the process. And after that conversation, I would ask them what happens to them, when they disturb the person in front of me, or when they bring the heaviness and the sadness and the dark shadows and all that around them. And very quickly, learning that their condition deteriorates, they feel the darkness, they feel the sadness, they're feeling similar things as the person here in the physical body. And given that conversation, then I'm like, well, you're in a space where you could actually be helpful. Like you could learn to deal with the issues. You're just talking about issues like we all have. You could actually deal with those issues, release those issues, and you could find brightness. You could find love. You could find true help. Like I need all the help I can get. Like come back when you're really able to help us. And then I would just ask them. I said, would it be okay if I ask a bright, loving spirit to come who has been through similar things and can identify with where you're at? Like, I care about that. And I feel like you need some support. Otherwise, you go around pesting other people, and this is not helping you or them. And many, many times they will agree. And so I simply asked God or speak it out into the realm and ask the bright spirit to come who can help them, who understands the kind of place they've been through. And many, many times I've gotten to see what actually happened. I can see the bright, loving spirit come. I can see the hesitation. I can see the bright, loving spirit stand at a distance and just be there in presence and loving acceptance and take their time and begin to talk. I see them sit down on the ground face to face and talk. I see the troubled spirit begin to lean forward and listen. And I'm like, oh, I can feel that. But some of the ones around us just, that was a piece they needed to hear. Um, and then in a little bit, the two walk off together. I'm like, wow. And when that happens, every single time I've witnessed that, and I could see them walk off, I could feel it. This huge shift takes place in the atmosphere around you. I will many times just break out spontaneously in tears. I'll just feel this huge release, like something clears around the area. And I also spontaneously go into like a feeling of gratitude and worship.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can ask the person like, "What do you feel?" And they're like, "Wow, it just feels light and it feels free around here." And I'm like, "Wow." So
That's
that's my test. That's my real life.
that's really wonderful. So I used to do healing work with people, sound healing, and then it led me to work with earthbound spirits because when I would ask what is causing this discord or whatever it was, it would often lead to an earthbound spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I said, I really need to go check out your space, your home, because I'm feeling this is where the influence is occurring. And sure enough, we would go through a process similar to what you're talking about, where we would release that spirit by helping him or
Mm-hmm.
her. Um, like you said, you ask other spirits to come. I would find that there would usually be similarities between the home that they were in and the person that was living there now that owned it.
Yeah.
So it was a growing experience for everyone, and there was always that feeling of gratitude. And so, to mimic what you're saying, you would find that when you're helping people heal, they often had a spirit attachment that could be released, correct?
Right. Attachment, or at least what's the other
Influence.
word? Yes, an influence that they're like hanging nearby or something like that. There's various levels. Some of them just kind of, are kind of hang around in space for whatever reason. Others are like really latched on to people and become more of an issue or more. literally controlling of the person.
Yeah. So, to somebody that still has a strong belief in reincarnation, what would you say to them given this test? How does that disprove, do you think,
Mm-hmm.
reincarnation?
Well, interestingly, the first thing that comes to me when you ask that is one, I want to honor what they believe. There's a reason they came to that belief, and I respect that. And I don't have anything to prove to you, but I can share from my experience and what has come into alignment. Um, and then that takes me to, so if you follow the reincarnation thought process, uh, what do you do with it? It is what it is. Um, you can continue your own personal growth, where seeing these, rather than incarnations, seeing them as separate spirits that live the physical life, there's this huge opportunity to be of tremendous instantaneous help to them. And you get to reap the results again and again and again. And then all of a sudden you find that, well, okay, so if it is the person, if it's a reincarnated person, the person is still here, their spirit is still here. Like, they didn't leave, they're still in their sovereign core. Um, but something left, something is no longer here. So we're not doing away with people. So it just makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. And what also resonated with me in Divine Truth is that God is all loving. And if God is all loving, then would your parent ever set up a situation where you have to come back and you have to
Mhm.
bring in all of this karma and things that you didn't learn from the past? And on top of it, forget all about it.
Mhm. And I don't know exactly what to say about that one, um, because I also feel like even after you pass, like, you still have things to learn, you still have things to process, as we're finding from the spirits we work with. So I guess to me, it's not escaping the continuing journey. Um, so either way, there are maybe some similarities, because if you do think of it a reincarnation, you still have things to learn and work through and process. And but yeah, I keep going back to the more like, it's not the person leaving. So there's a separation here, and it can be exactly what they thought was the reincarnated self, and then all of a sudden it's you see a separation there. Um, but you brought up a really interesting point, if I may dive into that a little bit. Um, it's like tagging alongside in this subject, understanding the love of God. Um, Years ago, I was involved in Christian deliverance ministry, and I found myself like being the angry authoritarian, like telling these spirits in the name of Jesus to get out of here and all that kind of stuff, seeing them as the devil himself and his minions, as demons. And now I get, there was whatever level of success with that, like spirits would leave, but I can be completely at peace with a smile on my face, completely in love, and do this, have a caring conversation with these spirits, and see them, witness them actually experiencing help. And I never had to be yelling at them in the name of Jesus, get out of here and go to hell or something. Like, so this feels so much more godlike to me.
Yeah, it almost seems a little cruel to yell and you're really
Yeah, I
you're
agree.
not able to help anybody that you're yelling at and using it's such a fear-based philosophy, don't you think?
Oh, very much so. Yeah, it had a
Yeah.
lot of fear woven into it.
Yeah, and so
And this
then they'll
here is
go
like
someplace
no
else.
fear at all. Like, wow, it can be so loving and caring.
Yeah, I had clients that, well, I tried the salt, and the sage, and I said, yeah, but none of that helps that spirit understand what they need to understand. Like
Right, right.
many of them may not even be aware there's anything to move on to, depending on what their beliefs are.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and the all loving God theme, though, is would you agree that we do progress through the spheres or different dimensions by learning higher levels of love?
Well, again, I'm going to speak from my experience, what I see, because apart from that, it's like hearsay. Like I'm not saying the person telling me more, they may be 100% right. It's just like, how do I discover if it is the case? And just like I talked about before, I'm seeing a shift to a higher plane. Like I'm getting to actually witness a forward step that's incredible. And it shifts the energy, it shifts the space, it changes the life of the person that they were interacting with here who came to me for some guidance. So I think I'm seeing that where I'm witnessing a spirit move to a higher level. Just like if I look at my own life, I'm not the same as what I was last year or 5 years ago. Like I'm very different. I'm on a progression that I would like to think is a lot brighter than where I was before. Um, it feels that way. So I think there's a lot of comparison.
Yeah. So do you call brighter more loving? Do you think that love is the key? Growing in love is the key to progressing?
I think that's one of the biggest keys. Uh, Apart from love, what do you have? And for
Truth.
whatever it's worth, over the last, probably about the last year, I've had the word acceptance come to me again and again and again in relation to love. And it's helping me, I think, go to a deeper level of it. What actually is love? Like, is it how your parents treated you? Is it how your partner treats you? Is it how you feel about yourself? Like, what actually is love? And it's been helpful to be able to contemplate and experience a deep level of acceptance, and people feel loved when you, yeah, when you emanate that.
And you're
I don't,
accepting them and
right.
yeah. I
It's
think
just like, if
uh
if I accept you deeply, what do you feel?
I think it shows to me you're dropping your expectations over what I should be, who I should be, and just letting me be me.
So in another terminology, it's like I stop judging you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And I think in the same way that you're describing this, you can do that with any spirit. And that's in fact what you do to help them if
Right.
they're earthbound or need to go to another place where they're not wreaking havoc in someone
Right.
else's life.
So tell me what doesn't respond to love. Like I can be loving towards them and then all of a sudden good things happen. If I'm loving towards you or towards somebody else, or like good things happen. If someone's really loving and caring towards me, good things happen in me. So I have, just jumping to another step in this whole thing, I would love to talk about like maybe a little bit about why these spirits might be here. The things that we thought are the reincarnations, we have the other memories of and feelings and emotions of stuff that we don't consciously in our head know that this happened to me last year. Um, why might, if it indeed is spirits, why might they be here with us? Can we go into that just a little bit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I would say, first off, there's always a resonance. There's always commonalities with the person that they're with. And I would say there has to be.
Hmm. Can you give an example like there's resonance or commonalities? Like what have you found?
I found it fascinating. And I guess, well, I found it fascinating, like with clearing homes and businesses, um,
Hmm.
that I could go into a home and this person that I was helping that was earthbound had the exact same occupation, had became divorced, had, I
Mhm.
don't remember if they had children or not, but there were such similarities in life, and
Mhm.
also the same kind of struggles. So they shared core issues that were similar. So I did that
Yeah.
full time for 7 years, and I did this up and down the East Coast, and no matter where I was, I found the same themes. The other
Mhm.
thing that could happen is somebody has an accident or goes into the hospital, and they get an attachment that way through some trauma. That
Right.
could be less likely to have any commonalities. I found it just happened to be you have this accident or this impact where the spirit already is, and they see an opportunity to attach. So
It's actually quite common in the hospital. In fact, a brain surgeon was uh, quoted to say that it's common in brain surgery where there's attachments. And I don't know if I understand all that. Is it just the vulnerable state when someone's, under anesthesia in that capacity, or and some spirit kind of takes advantage of the situation? I don't know. Um, but right along with that, I feel like traumas, wounds, injuries that we hold within our psyche, emotional being, energy, body, or spirit, whatever, seem to be another commonality. So, we kind of become buddies in feeling rejected, for example, or something like that.
mhm.
And so we're almost like drinking buddies at that point. Like we're not doing each other any good, but our weaknesses kind of bond us together.
Absolutely. And of course, spirits that still are earthbound and have that addiction to smoking or drinking or drugs can give life
Yeah.
to a drug addict or an alcoholic, to just for the purpose of using them to get their addictions fulfilled.
Absolutely. I've seen that many times too. It's like they're actually feeling that feeling, whether it's with drinking, whether it's some kind of other energetic release, whether it's sex, whether it's an argument, whatever, they're actually like harvesting some of that energy or getting the feel because that feels comfortable, or maybe it's something they wanted in life and hadn't experienced. So then you end up like they're harvesting off of you. And I would prefer that all my divine energy stays with me rather than be giving it away to somebody I didn't give permission to.
Yeah. There's another technical thing that AJ talked about, and I don't know if I recall the whole discussion, but when we incarnate, our soul splits into
Okay.
two, say the masculine, feminine. It doesn't have to be that way. You could have, male, male, female, female as well. But so the soul splits, and then reincarnation is not possible until that soul actually progresses back through so many spheres and rejoins the other half of the soul.
So a half couldn't reincarnate. It would have to be a whole that would actually reincarnate.
Right. And it's also interesting how spirits, like this group of spirits that were helping other spirits reincarnate, did notice that their condition was getting worse, not better. And as you
Mhm.
described, when you do something out of love, like you help that spirit cross over, and I notice this every single time, whether it was helping a spirit detach from a person or a place or an object. There's
Mhm.
a feeling of elation. Like I have goosebumps now everywhere. There's just such a
Yeah.
feeling of gratitude and freedom and elation. But these spirits, when AJ asked them to look at what's happening to their own condition, they were getting darker and denser and bound the more that they helped other spirits reincarnate. And that also had a big impact on me, having felt what happens when you actually help them, right? When you
Mhm.
truly help them. progress, not reincarnate.
Right. And I've had many acknowledge that and tell what it did to them when they do this pattern or whatever they're doing. Many of them are stuck in very unloving patterns. It's not loving to themselves or the other people, and they're suffering the consequences of that.
Yeah. And I have to mention, is someone going through this twin flame journey, which is extremely painful in the beginning. So after you meet the other half of your soul, if you're not really progressed in understanding what true love is, like you touched upon, what is love? Well, it's not man's definition for sure. It's not codependency and all that. And when I met
Hmm.
my other half of my soul, that's what I thought it was, and I had a lot of growing to do. So I went into a dark night of the soul that was extremely, extremely painful. And I totally just lost my thought. So,
There's a twin flame journey and the painfulness of it, and how you may pair up with someone through common addictions or codependency. Uh,
yeah, I totally, totally just lost my train of thought. So maybe,
okay.
oh, so, and at the beginning of these journeys, it's interesting that you often feel you met this person before, that you must have reincarnated. I've noticed many people on YouTube talk about how they had this feeling, as I did. And,
Hmm.
but when I listened to Divine Truth and AJ talk about how it wasn't real, it was a gift and a relief to drop all of that. It became extraneous noise. It just complicated things. Like, so what if I had lifetime after lifetime with this person? I was
Hmm.
going through something now that was very, very deep, that was based on my beliefs and not understanding really what God's definition of love is. So I said, let me just suspend what my beliefs are for a while and focus on this life. And things became so much easier. So I
Hmm.
feel that reincarnation unnecessarily complicates things for people. Like, I'll
Yeah.
listen to twin flame coaches, say, well, you're meant to have so many lifetimes together, and only the few, right, that have a soul contract and come into this lifetime with that prior agreement are going to be able to have a reunion. And I just don't resonate with that at all, because I guess because we have free will to
Mhm.
grow and understand how to evolve and progress.
And what I'm hearing from you, which I would find the same thing, it feels very limiting. And the understanding that it's actually other spirits from people who were living here, is so freeing and so much greater possibility with that, just to actually progress and move on, even as my own being.
Yeah,
Feels very freeing.
yeah. It's interesting how I got knocked out completely of my train of thought, which is another big sign of spirit influence. And I want to be sensitive to the spirits that are around us, because there's probably a spirit that didn't want me to be able to relay all of that. And
Trying to get your attention off to the side. Yeah, yeah. Did you feel like you want to interact with them more and see what's
yeah,
going on? Maybe it will
absolutely.
happen right here while we're sharing with our audience.
Absolutely. I've always loved helping earthbound spirits. It's very, very sacred work to me. And I know with the conversations I've had with you, it's
Mhm.
interesting that although our backgrounds are different and how we, got led into it, we both, I think, have that as something we see as important and sacred.
Right. So I'm seeing the location of that spirit. They're right in front of the curtain there behind you or to the side of you on that side of you. Can you connect with them and just explore what's going on with them? Why are they trying to distract you right now?
Yeah, and I will say that years ago I turned my ability way, way, way down. So yeah,
Okay.
I'll do my best. I do feel a male
Yeah.
and a female,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
the male is much stronger
Yeah,
than.
that's one I picked up on. Yeah, the female I didn't pick up on, but I'm connecting a little bit with the male over on the side. Yeah.
I just feel like he's saying, I don't know why you're talking about this stuff.
We're talking about this because we're having fun. How does it affect you when we talk about this?
Yeah. Yeah. How does it affect you? He's saying he doesn't want to talk about it because it hurts. Okay.
Well, I care about the hurt. I mean, there's reasons that things hurt,
Yeah.
and I honor that and I care about that.
Yeah.
Do you care to share about the hurt?
I'm getting a headache now, right here.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
probably what he's feeling as well.
yeah. And I just want him to know that both of us care about him.
Absolutely.
And we definitely, want to hear more about your feelings on this. He's saying he doesn't feel safe talking about it and he feels trapped. So,
Yeah, I'm gathering that he doesn't know what it's like to actually be cared for, just like we're even doing right now. And that's huge. That's very difficult to be in your life or in the realm you are right now and not be cared for and understood.
and we're glad that you came here because we do care. And
Absolutely.
we know that the more people and spirits that we care about, the better the world becomes for all of us equally.
Hmm. Right. So you've hung out with us here for a little bit. Did you get anything to take away from our conversation? Is there anything of hope or anything that
Oh,
could connect you?
I get him saying he thought that he had to reincarnate.
Oh, okay. So what about if you could have someone who's loving, caring, way beyond what we're doing? We're just giving you a little bit of care. What if someone who was very much more caring and loving than what either of us are would come and show you a better way, show you something that's amazing and that allows you to move out of the pain cycle you talked about being in?
Yeah, he's afraid of that. He
Okay.
so I think we need to establish more of a relationship with him because he's attracted to us right now. He doesn't completely understand brighter spirits, so I think we're closer.
Mhm. Yep.
Um,
We may be the most loving thing that he's ever come in contact with. Even in all our humanity and our whatever failures and whatever, we still may be the most accepting, caring beings he's ever run into.
yeah.
Something just shifted within him. Did you feel that?
Yeah.
It's almost like he took a sigh of relief or something.
Yeah. I did. I went, huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
It
did.
felt like
I
his
did
energy
that
shifted.
when we told him that we would be his friend. That's what
Yeah,
created that. Like, he knows he's welcome and it's okay. And we're not trying to. Sometimes, if you tell a spirit too quickly about some other ones coming, they feel pushed away. And now I don't know if I can trust. I don't know those other spirits, but I've been
right.
resonating with you guys.
Yeah. But takes me back to the old saying that people don't really care what you know until they know you care.
Yeah, I love that. So let's see if if either of us get anything, I'd like to know more about your life and where you find yourself prior to thinking you need to reincarnate. He feels like the only way he can go on living is to come back to Earth and reincarnate. And see, this is one of the big issues with this whole philosophy and belief system is now imagine that he's not progressing. And I feel he's pretty young. Like I would say late 20s or 30s. What do you get
Mm.
anything?
I didn't, but I also picked up that he's very, very lonely.
Yeah, so he's stuck now because I don't know, I think he's afraid to reincarnate, and at the same time he feels like he can't progress until he reincarnates.
Mm. So, since he's in the spirit realm, there's things he can look at very quickly because time has no essence there. They don't aren't bounded by the things that we are in our physical realm. So, um, so I'm going to invite him to just zoom on ahead and look what would happen if he would reincarnate and how it would affect the condition of his soul, what it would feel like. Um, yeah, just zoom ahead and bring that into his reality and check in with that, and then come right back to where you are now and let us know.
I felt like he already did that. Like, and
Yep.
I think it's unfortunate that because of the state he's in now, he feels it would be better because he'd have this
Okay.
whole new life. And
Right. Right.
and that's kind of the
Makes a lot
carrot.
of sense.
Yeah, that's kind of the carrot that gets dangled.
Hmm.
The better life would be understanding that number one, you're earthbound, and there are plenty of relatives that love you, and spirits, and even animals that would love to reunite with you. And
Hmm.
we could bring them towards us here. Are you okay with that?
Hmm.
Yeah. See, now that
Okay. Comfortable enough, safe
that
enough.
is really that's a better attraction than spirits he doesn't know. So let's just call all his loved ones and friends and family. Feel like he was in an accident.
Okay.
Even animals are coming. So what we want you to know is that you keep progressing, and reincarnation is a belief that although many people have, there's people like Lester and I that have done a lot of studying that no longer believe in reincarnation because we believe that you keep progressing in the spirit world. And unfortunately, you've been just stuck thinking
Hmm.
you can't progress anywhere.
Well, and it's
So,
so fast. Just like he zoomed ahead and looked what something would be like for him, the progression can happen so fast. They're not bounded by
yeah,
the
and
physical limitations.
that new life feels completely unknown versus all his friends and
Yeah.
family coming that is truly drawing him from love, you know?
Mhm. So are you saying that the friends and family who came are not showing him love? Like, or I'm not
I
sure if I
said
understood you
that
there. Can
the
you
draw
clarify?
to his friends and family are about love versus
Oh,
the
okay.
unknown. It's like saying,
Hmm.
hey, go take a trip to Hawaii and move there. We know you'll love it. Bye. He
Yeah.
doesn't know what
Yeah.
that life would be attaching to another baby soul in a new family.
Yeah.
So I just want to say to him to you can go anytime with your friends and families, and we work with divine truth guides, which are very bright, loving spirits bound by love and truth, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
God's workers. So,
Yeah, and if he does want, if he's willing at any time or ready to interact with a brighter spirit, they don't pressure you for anything. It's
no,
unlike the people in your life that, many times pressure you towards something.
he
They're there to
he's already
bless you, to
leaving.
keep
See,
you.
he's already leaving with his family. And
There
the
you
other
go.
thing I want to say is you can know that Lester and I are your friends always.
And I got all the shivers as the shift took place. Yeah,
Always
yeah.
we're your friend. He says, thank you.
Hmm. It's such an honor. It's so beautiful.
I'm
Like,
getting William. Okay, well, I guess that's opening
wow.
back up in me.
Oh, that's beautiful. And just to be able to interact right here, in the middle of this um, video cast is incredible.
Yeah, maybe this is a new calling for us.
That may be. I'm having a story come to me for the last several minutes, and I think maybe I'm supposed to share it here,
Okay,
if that's okay with you.
please.
So it ties into the commonality. Let me check my battery here real quick. I'm down to 6%. All right, so hopefully I can go just a little bit yet. Um, or maybe I can get a plug in here.
I'll
So
pause. I'll pause if you want to go get it.
someone's getting it for me.
Okay, great. Okay.
I think I can come in and plug in behind the screen here,
Okay,
and we can
great.
keep going. So the thing about commonality, why spirits may be together, connecting, where. So this is someone else's story. My partner was walking someone through some really deep, dark stuff that was coming, very depressive, and they didn't know where it was from. Like, nothing in my life resonates with this, but they're feeling all this heavy, depressive sadness and stuff. And as they walked into that, this woman saw a room with a whole bunch of people in it, and they were all dirty. They were all muddy. They looked so filthy dirty, not as in sin or moral dirty, but physically dirty, like mud all over them. And there was a whole group of them. And as they explored that, it seemed like they had all passed at the same time in the same event, and they were trying to talk to each other. Thank you. Now we got power. Uh, they were trying to talk to each other, but they couldn't hear each other, even though they were right beside each other. And it seemed like they had all perished in like a mudslide or something. And they were like all buried right next to each other. Hence all the dirty muddiness on them. Everything in that space was very muddy and dirty. Um, and she was able to bring them to the place where they could hear each other and where they could leave that space where they were all stuck. They felt trapped there. It was a really, really beautiful place where they were all able to leave that. And it's probably from some natural event that happened. And that was the commonality. They all died together.
Wow.
Uh, and one of them, only one of them could be heard initially. And that's the one who was able to get this woman's attention. And that's what she was feeling, with the heaviness, the sadness, the depressiveness, that she's like, this isn't mine. I'm not depressed in my life. Like, things are flowing. Like, it doesn't seem to be me. And that one, there was a mother with children that was able to get her attention and ended up helping the whole group that had gone down together. So for some reason, I felt like I was supposed to share that story. It's
That,
incredibly beautiful ending. And when that all cleared, uh, then she no longer felt that.
yeah.
So anyway, we went down a couple interesting trails. Does that sum it up, or do you have something else in your
Well,
heart, Alice?
I still feel this feminine energy. Uh,
Okay, you want to play with that one? This is
yeah,
so fun. It's like so fun and so helpful.
Yeah, I could, I mean, we don't have to tape it, but I definitely couldn't leave without helping whoever needs help. Um,
Hmm.
as I say that, I think about AJ that gets thousands of spirits around him, and if it comes a day like that, it may be different. So let's see. Do you feel the female energy?
I'm not connecting with her right now, and that's
No.
okay. But go ahead, uh, connect with her and see what you discover. I'll be right here with you. Hmm.
Getting a headache again. That used to happen all the time when I went to do space clearings because the
Interesting.
Earthbound's energy level is
Way more
always
dense.
stuck in
Yeah.
something and lower. And yeah,
So an interesting thing I noticed, I can now connect with her, and I was focusing on the screen as I'm watching your face and we're talking, and she's off screen. She's a little further to the side than what's picked up in your camera lens,
how about now?
and yeah. She's over, maybe even at that window. Is there a window? There's a lamp and a window over there.
Yeah, I don't. You think you're picking up the shadow from the lamp or
No,
no?
no. I'm not looking at the shadow. Her presence is several feet away from you. Does that resonate?
Yeah.
She's not like beside you on the sofa or
I,
whatever that
I, I
is what
do
you're saying.
feel that. I feel she's a little shy.
Yeah. So she's
Um,
off a couple of feet. Like, yep, exactly.
yeah, I feel
Yeah.
she's very shy. So we'll
So
just let her know we want to talk to her and help her in any way we can.
is
Um,
she willing to be courageous and venture out to share what brought her here today?
she said, I'm afraid to. Okay, well, thank you for sharing with us
Mm-hmm.
and being here. There's nothing to be afraid of with us. You're welcome here.
Did we cover the things you had questions about, or is there something you'd like us to talk about that you are afraid to engage in yourself?
I feel like she was waiting to reincarnate too. Can you see what you pick up independent of me?
Well, what I'm picking up on right now is her fear level. She's literally freaked out, and I don't know what all her story is. That's brought all that fear. I know the fear was there for a reason, whatever she's gone through. But she's a very high level of fear, and that. So I'm picking up on her more energetically right now.
Yeah.
Sometimes I can clearly hear their words, and right now I'm just picking up what she's feeling.
She's saying, my mother, my mother.
Okay.
I feel
Hmm.
like her mother was killed,
Hmm.
and she feels like her life was destroyed,
Okay. Hmm.
and her
Did she die at the
children.
same? Did she die at the same time her mother was, like in a common accident? Or,
I don't feel that way. I feel like
okay.
it's more of grief related.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, good. So we made the first breakthrough with her.
And her children suffered because of it too, because she's saying, I wasn't fully present after that.
Mm-hmm.
She was very dependent on her mother,
Mm-hmm.
young mother. Okay.
So she lost a little bit of her fear there in that first breakthrough, which is exactly corresponding with more information she's willing to share. So I thank her for that. That's hugely courageous. I applaud you for venturing out, even in the spite of your fear.
And she said, I
That's a
don't
lot of
want
love.
to scare you because she scares people she gets next to sometimes. You're not going to scare us. Unless you
Takes a
say
lot.
boo in the middle of the night to me.
Boo. Hmm.
She wants to reunite with her kids,
Okay. Can she see her kids? Where are they?
but I think they're still alive.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she doesn't know how to help them. So if I
Yeah.
might share, you know how when you were alive, the best way a parent can help a child is when they're doing better. Just as you said that when you were grieving for your mother, it harmed your kids, right? Yeah, she gets it. So the more that you allow yourself to do better, your energy will shift greatly and have a positive impact on your children.
Mhm.
She said, okay. How do you feel about her
So,
energy now?
well, it keeps shifting all the time. She's opening up more and more, and I
Yeah.
feel like I need to say this, like she needs to hear this. Um, and that is like, how do you deal with these emotions you have, the grief, the fear, the whatever you're carrying? And you can do exactly what we're practicing in our lives, and it's been extremely successful. And that is actually to feel the emotion. So we're going to use fear right now. So if you just feel the fear without the story, we can tell ourselves all the reasons why we'd be fearful, but just we're not denying anything. Just lay those aside for a moment and just deeply feel the fear for a couple moments. Within a minute or two, that fear begins to dissipate because it processes and re-experience healing. And you can use that too. And you can test and see if what I'm saying is true. Would you be willing to put it to test? How are you feeling right now?
She's saying, I'm feeling a little confused because I thought it wasn't good to feel fear, especially as a
Oh,
parent.
right, right. Yes, that's a common question that a lot of people have. They're like, if I feel the fear, won't it just become more because I'm focused on it? And the difference is this: it's the story we attach that continues to manifest it more and more. When we let go of the story, it actually clears and heals, and it doesn't keep propagating. That's the difference.
And it might be useful to also feel within you a time where you felt capable as a mother,
Mhm.
maybe prior to your own mother crossing over. Yeah. And use that as a place to begin, knowing that you can and are capable. You are capable.
Mhm.
And one thing that I've been doing in interrelationship focusing, and I just did a video on this, is instead of saying, I am fearful, say, something in me is fearful.
You can give that a try too. Mhm.
So try, something in me is fearful. She's doing that.
Yeah.
And can we bring some family and your guardian angel and some people forward to support you in this? Well, I feel like she's doing her process. So that's good.
That's good.
Feeling
Yeah.
feeling the fear.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where the transformation begins to happen. That will really start lightening her.
I feel it has actually.
I'm getting a smile on my face
Just
spontaneously as
started
I check in
smiling.
for the energy. Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah, it's
so
really,
funny.
really, really changed.
Yeah. Yeah. So as you process these emotions, I'm hearing Joanna. Joanna, as you process these emotions, And remember that those parts of you also that are capable, as you feel these feelings, this is how you can really progress.
Yeah, yeah. And she just experienced it right now. And it just brought another thing back to me just to clarify for our listeners, and that is that it's way we perceive it as a way bigger issue than what it actually is. Like it took her a couple seconds of actually, as soon as she was actually willing, it's like we're preparing her to get to that space. As soon as she's willing to actually feel that fear, it's a change within a few seconds for her. There's some studies that suggest an emotion only lasts 90 seconds. And I just heard that recently, but I know from my experience that usually within 1 to 2 minutes, um, this major things shift. She has
Yeah.
way less fear. And it wasn't like fear can feel like it's going to be overwhelming. It's going to, I won't be able to make it through it. And it actually, yeah, it was so quickly it shifted.
Yeah, I feel like she's doing well. And of course, we're both here to assist at any time. I'm sort of blown away at the direction this went in to give the listeners and ourselves two clear examples of how people that believe the only way they could progress was to
Hmm.
reincarnate was
Right,
severely keeping them stuck
right.
and in a very tough emotional earthbound state.
And I guess that's a question I'd like to leave with anybody who is divinely brought to connect with this in any way is your belief limiting you? I know I have limiting beliefs yet in my life right now. I'm not sure what all they are,
Mhm.
but just being open to the possibility that some of my beliefs today may be limiting me is opening myself to the possibility of more, like the possibility of new truths that I don't know yet. And then I get the privilege to experience the amazing things that happen when I allow that
Yeah,
possibility to exist.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Fabulous.
it feels like we're coming to a close here. How about you, Alice?
Yeah, definitely. I feel great. Feel great.
Awesome. That's beautiful. Yeah, you because the whole energy shifted. That's awesome. So, it's already some people were benefited in various ways already just from being here. The spirits were, and I feel like you're welcome to put our info below the video, however you want to, when you share it.
Okay.
If somebody wants to connect further.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Lester. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. It was wonderful to connect.
Thank you. You too, Alice. It's beautiful.